Hi, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Layers of Healing, the podcast where we talk about a lot of stuff people put shame on. And I'm sharing my bad sides and my good sides with you. So you feel seen, you feel heard, and we can all heal together. This episode is about my 5-year emotional dependency, or better said, my Limerence experience. I will talk to you about what exactly happened and also how I got out of it, because it's nice to be aware and feel seen, but it's also nice to know how to get out of this cycle. So stay tuned. I will share all my secrets with you. Let's hop right in. If anyone is not familiar with the term limerence, let me break it to you a little bit. I asked ChatGPT for a description, and ChatGPT said, limerence is when you feel intensely drawn to someone, almost like being obsessed, but it's not the same as love. You might think about them all the time, daydream about being with them, and feel like you need them to like you back to feel okay. It's often based on fantasy, not on who they really are or a real relationship. It can feel magical and exciting, but also painful and confusing, especially when it's one-sided or not returned. And with limerence, this is 9 out of 10 the case that it's just one-sided. The other party involved probably don't feel the same way, and that's where emotional dependency comes in. A lot of you guys know, and I already shared it on Instagram, I've been through limerence. I've been through 5 years of emotional dependency with a guy. So I've met my guy when I was 19. I was on vacation with my friends. As a little disclaimer, what happened before that. So with 14, I fell into depression. I hurt myself. I was not having the normal, ordinary teenage life. I didn't have really experiences with guys. And so we were on vacation, and that's where I met him. We met in Spain, but we lived in the same village in Germany. He knew, so I was there with 2 friends, and he was the friend of the brother of my friend. And when we saw him, she wanted to take a picture with him. I really want to give him a name. This will be confusing. We call him Paul. So my friend really wanted to take a picture with Paul to send to her brother. So look who I bumped into. And I did the picture because both of the phones of my friends died. They had no battery. So I ended up taking the picture, and I ended up taking his Instagram so we could meet up later for party. So I had his Instagram. We did not meet up, but he was texting me saying so sweet and respectful things like, you're really pretty, and I'd love to see you, and I'd love to get to know you. And he sent me pictures of him. I remember one picture. He was laying in bed. I think he was drunk. And he had do you know these pictures when it's dark, and then you put the flash on Snapchat, and then it's just your face bright? And I remember that picture. He sent me this picture with thinking about you. And I was not used to a guy approaching me like this and finding me attractive and telling me and being so open about it. And I immediately fell for him. Immediately, I was like, wow, okay, this is such a coincidence that I met him on vacation. But my flight was back home, so I flew back home. But we've met in our village because he also lived there, obviously. And I remember it so it's 6 years ago, but I remember it like it was yesterday. He came back on Saturday. I was there on Tuesday, so I waited a few days. We were texting a lot, and as soon as Saturday hit and he was back, we met up. I drove to his place, and I remember I sat in my car, and I was just like, I don't want to do this. There was my anxious and avoidant attachment coming out already because, he didn't do that with me. Before him, I also was avoidant and anxious attached. And I was like, no, I can just stay home. I could just stay safe. I don't want to meet him. But then I was just pushing myself. No, you go. You meet him. You like him. Let's go. And then I went there. And you guys, this was such a good first date. I was so surprised. I was smiling the whole time after the date. We did not kiss. But he was so sweet because we just talked a lot. And when I wanted to go, he was like holding on to me. He was like grabbing my waist so I was standing up from the couch, and he's grabbing my waist, carrying me back to the couch, and he was just like, no, don't go, I want you here. And it was just so sweet, like, so sweet. From that day on, we met every day, 7 days a week. We met up every day. And then, of course, we started, fooling around a little bit. And but I felt very safe in his presence. And I felt like I know him for such a long time. And I know that no, I'm not saying this. This is my therapist. Like, I wanted to say, I know that he felt the same things in this moment as me, because I felt them. Just having my therapist's voice in my head, and she's like, no, you're projecting your feelings onto him, and he said it's not true. That's where we will come to now. So we had an amazing time. It was a little bit like love bombing, but it was so nice having someone finally see me and choose me, and it was just so nice. But then after 2 intense weeks, he ghosted me. No message, no nothing. Like, he ghosted me for 3 to 4 months, and then he messaged me again after. So for us, it was always the 3-month mark. So every 3 months he would have texted me, but then he would be gone again. So that's also why it went for 5 years, because he was hooking me every time. And after these 3 months, he was hooking me every time, and the feelings came back, and I was not able to like make a cut. So we met up, of course, again then in end of the year after the 4 month of silence, and I wanted to talk to him. So I talked to him, and I was like, oh, he was just so afraid of commitment, but he loves me so much that I'm now going to give him my body, and it will be so nice. And then, we hooked up. And after 5 days later, he was texting me, hi. By the way, on Snapchat. So if a guy texts you on Snapchat, don't. Just leave him. Don't even talk to him. If Snapchat is still a thing, don't. So we're talking on Snapchat, and he was just like, oh, I've met someone else, and I really want to see if it works with her. Little throwback, he told me that he's not ready for a relationship. There was a silent with you behind his sentence, but it was obvious from the start that this won't be my next boyfriend or my first boyfriend ever. So he texted me that he met someone else and he wants to see where it goes 5 days after I slept with him. And I was just like, oh my God, I'm heartbroken. I saw him to wrap this up, I saw him at the club the next weekend. And what did I do? I'm not proud of this. I wouldn't do it again. But so I saw him in the club, and I was just like, I want to get back to him. I'm going to get back at him. And I was making out. So we were at the dance floor, and I was making out with the first guy that approached me. I didn't even talk to him. I didn't even know the name of this guy. But I just made out with him to annoy Paul. And it worked. Paul was stalking me for the whole evening. He was looking at me the whole night, and my ego was fat. I'm like, there you go. There you see. You still want me, huh? No, I don't want you anymore. And then, since then, so this was the first 6 months of the Limerence, and that was the point where everything turned. It was ugly. It was traumatic. He texted me. He's calling me names that I'm a hoe and I'm going with men every weekend. And I was not at that point. I was a virgin till I was 18. So I was so the opposite of a hoe, and he knew that. I think I hurt him, and then he wanted to hurt me. That's my reflection of the story. So from that, everything went downhill. He was calling me names. I blocked him for 6 months. Then I unblocked him after 6 months. And that day where I unblocked him, he messaged me again on Instagram. So this boy checked Instagram almost or every day to see if he's still blocked. He messaged me immediately. And this man was amazing in making me feel guilty for things that he did. So I ended up apologizing about his behavior, thinking it's my fault. Oh, this guy. So he's not like that anymore, but he was at this, like, for me in my story. Again, my perception of the story, my side of the story, that's how I felt. I was emotionally dependent on him. I don't think that he was emotionally depending on me. So, but that's how I felt. The 5 years were basically me blocking him, me unblocking him. Him reaching out on LinkedIn, the only platform where I haven't blocked him yet, to talk to me, blocking him, messaging him again, messaging him on WhatsApp, blocking him on WhatsApp, he reaching out again. I see him because I moved to Bremen at that point, and he also lived in Bremen in the same neighborhood. So we ended up bumping into each other sometimes in summer in the park, and it was a little bit awkward, but I knew when I saw him, like, he's going to text me. And I was just so, every time when he texted me, my heart was just flowing, and I wanted to have this feeling of the beginning. So we had such a love bombing, good beginning, and I thought he's my soulmate. I was really thinking that. I always wanted to recreate that start of feeling. So during these 5 years, I had 3 talks with him, more serious talks where we talked about the situation as adults. And I can only tell you what he told me. So I think you have a good overview about this situation. So when we talked, we were both seeking validation of the other, like, oh, is this person still available for me? Yes, you're still available. Okay, then I don't want you. But I just wanted to check if you're available. Okay? But if you're not available, then I will try to make you come back to me. But if you're available, then I'm okay, and I will see you in 3 months. Bye. So that was the relationship. And also, I'm not better than him, just to be said, because when he didn't text me after 3 months, I texted him. I I was not better. I was the same. We were both not good for each other. I was the same traumatic responses. I think he never blocked me, though. That was just me. Also, I intentionally, when we were texting, I intentionally gave him the silent treatment. I intentionally ghosted him because I knew it was making him furious, and that's how I felt that I have power over him and power over the situation, because I felt lost. I felt lost in my feelings. I felt lost in the situation. I felt like I'm losing my mind. Like, why do I like this man so much? Why do I think he's my soulmate? Why doesn't he like me back? Why doesn't he feel the same feelings as I do? Because I feel them so deeply. He has to feel them too. Making my fantasy world of him craving me so much that he is just afraid of committing to me. So we were both in a vicious circle, me reaching out, him reaching out, me reaching out, him reaching out. Yeah. But that was the situation, like a circle of trauma bonding. If you feel seen by this and you're in a similar situation, I hope it's not 5 years. I hope it's not 10 years. I hope you're in the beginning stage where you can still, take up your things and go. But if you're in the same situation, or you find yourself in the same situation right now, I just want to tell you that, first of all, it's not your fault, because I realized through all of this that I just wanted to be loved and I just wanted to be chosen. And I thought, if someone loves me, if someone chooses me, if someone takes me as a potential partner, then I will be okay. And I thought there's no other solution. Now I know better, but that was my brain. My brain was, there is no solution except somebody wants me and chooses me, and then everything will be okay. And I decided for him to be that person, and I made excuses why he cannot commit to me. For example, he lost his dad. He has his own trauma going on, his own commitment issues. And I told myself, he lost his father, and I'm going to be patient for him, and he's so hurting, and that's why he treats me badly. I went through so much shit. I went through so much trauma. I went through so much hurt, but not once Have I ever thought of treating someone badly, insulting people because I was hurt? So this is not an excuse. And you're just trying to give you the excuse that, oh, he's like this, he cannot commit because da-da-da, and because da-da-da, because you cannot, it hurts too much that you see the honest truth that he doesn't want, that you're not the one for him. He likes you probably, or she likes you. I'm 100% sure they wouldn't be involved with you if they didn't like you, but they don't want you. It's a difference. It's not the same. So if you find yourself in this situation, listen up. So I tell you what I did. And it won't be easy. It will be terrifying. And you will feel like shit. But looking back at it now, I did the best thing ever, because in the first time and forever, I am free. I don't think about him. I think about him sometimes, but not that much, and not in the same way. Like, I don't think about him. I'm not obsessing about him. I'm not blocking myself emotionally for other people because I think he's my soulmate, because now I'm quite sure that he's definitely not what I did. So after 5 years, I noticed I'm still hung up on him. Like, I still believe we can make it work. I still believe he loves me. I still believe he is my future husband. I had to be very honest with myself. I sat down and I was freakingly honest with myself, thinking, okay, why do you believe he's your soulmate? Do you really want a relationship with him? And I, like, writing down every facts, putting down my castle I built in the sky, building that down with reality facts, how he's behaving and what he has done and what he said. I had to be honest with myself and say, I see what's going on. I'm emotionally depending on him, but I don't love him, and he's not my husband, and I don't even want a relationship with this man. And what I did, I reached out to him after 1 year of message silence, like, hi, I noticed I'm still thinking about you, and I was wondering if you're still thinking about me. Can we please talk? Let me know where you at. That is a moment when you're like texting. You're texting, and that is a moment where you like throw your phone away and never look at it again. So I texted that, and he messaged me, and he's very good at like answering without answering. So he answered, oh, nice to hear from you. I'm in Mexico, but of course we can talk. I replied and said, okay, please let's meet up when you're back. I met him, and what I'd advise everyone to do, which is scary as fuck. Be honest with them, approach them, ask them in their face if you are their person, if they like you, if they want to be with you. What I did, so he picked me up at my parents' house. We drove to a place nearby, and Paul was just looking at me like, okay, why did you want to talk with me? And I just told him everything. I told him everything, how I love him, and I'd love to make it work, and I'd love to see him, I'd love to date him, and I'm thinking about him the whole time, and we can make it work. I moved back because at this point I lived in Cologne and not in Bremen anymore. So I was like, I'm moving back for you, and we're gonna make this work if you're as committed as I am, and I love you, and please take me. That sounds so ridiculous, but I did it. And he was looking at me and he was surprised, but I'm so thankful for his reaction, because that's the reaction I really needed. Because what he said was, oh, yeah, I mean, I'm seeing someone right now, and I'm not good with this, and I don't feel like that. For me, we never had a romantic moment together. We never shared a romantic moment together. I don't know why you feel like you love me, but for me, it was always fun, and I just liked your body. And don't get me wrong, I've met a lot of amazing women in the past few years, and it never worked out with them. So it's not you. And I was sitting there, and it was like one knife after another in my heart. And he did it smart, because in the end he was, yeah, just text me when you're back here, and then we can meet each other again. And I just said, okay, let's meet on Sunday, because I didn't get the memo. I was still in my head. The only thing I heard was, let's meet up again. And I was like, okay, when do we see each other? And he said, oh, I can't do this weekend, and I can't do next week, but we can do like in 3 months. And I looked at him, and that was the moment where my brain was just clicking. I was like, this is not my man. This is not my man. He just looked at me dead in the eyes, and he's like, if you want to get to know me again, a woman, I'm not denying you of the access to me. Like, of course you can get to know me. And this man is just, the thing is, I have like no bad feelings. If you're listening to this, I think your experience was so different than mine. And that's what I mean with limerence when it's one-sided. Like, I was so emotionally into it and was making up everything, and he was just not. Of course, his behavior could have been better and different, and he knows that. He admitted that. And I closed the door, and I'm so proud of this moment, because at that moment, my brain was just, no, I deserve so much better. He is not my man. He's a boy. He's not my man. And I said to him, like, no, this is over. This is over, my friend. After the conversation, I felt good. I was like, I got my answer. But the next 3 months were super ugly. So it was last year in January. And it was pretty ugly. Like, I cried for 3 months. And not like, I'm okay. It was deep crying. And I really had to grieve this version I was holding on to for 5 years of my life. I grieved this version of me so much, because I thought I'd be with him and it will be amazing. And it's about grief. It's not even about him. I didn't grieve about him. I grieved about me and the version I saw for myself with him, the person I would be with him. And looking back, that would be the thing I would recommend to everybody who's in this situation. Approach them, ask them, stay firm on getting an answer. Don't leave until they give you a yes or a no. Approach them. You will feel like a clown. You will feel shame after that if it's not working out. You will feel lost. You will feel lonely. You will feel like shit. But after you process these emotions, you will feel free. You will feel free. What I've learned through all this, what I've learned also in my therapy for 3 years, is as soon as you start controlling, you know it's not love. I controlled so much. I controlled him with the silence treatment. I controlled him with what I said. I wanted to control the situation, so I have the feeling I have power over the situation. I'm not lost. But as soon as you start controlling stuff and you're having revenge on your heart, you know this is not love. This is emotional dependency. And I've read something amazing the other day about love, and I really want to share it with you guys. I want to give you a little guideline on how to identify if you are in a trauma bonding or in a loving situationship right now. Love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or proud or rude. It does not demand its own way. It is not resentful. Love neither gives up nor loses faith, is always hopeful, and endures through every circumstance. And what I get from this is, whenever you feel like you're envying the person you're with, you're working out of ego with the person you're with, you're rude to them, you're arrogant in your ways when you're with them together, this is not love. If you're trying to control them, controlling the situation to give you power, maybe also unconsciously, because for me it was a lot unconscious, it's not love. If you have to make them love you, and you're trying so hard and you're texting them so much and you're posting on your story because you think, oh, if they see the picture of me, they will text me. I cannot speak myself freely from those behaviors. So I still find myself sometimes, and I'm confessing this here, that I find myself wanting to post something on my story so a specific person sees it, or I want to text them so much. But why do I have the feeling I have to control it so much? Because it's not for me. If you have to force love, it's not from God. It's not for you. It's not your love. It's for someone else. It's not yours. He or she's already taken for someone else, reserved for someone else. I was so afraid of tomorrow. I had the feeling, if I control this now, then I won't be alone next week. If I control this so much that he meets up with me and he sees he likes me, I won't be alone next week. I won't be alone next year. I just have to control it. But as soon as you start controlling and you're not leading with love, you're leading with control and power and loneliness, it's not for you. So maybe you can ask yourself right now, when you hear this, with him or her, do I feel like I control sometimes feel it? Do I really think that they love me, or is it more from my side and I'm trying to make them love me because I'm so afraid of being alone or not being chosen ever in my life, or whatever fear there is underneath. And what I really like about the passage I read is love is patient and kind. Love does not envy. Love is not jealous. It just says, if you're in a relationship with someone, doesn't have to be a boyfriend, just in relationship with someone, and you're patient with them and you're kind and you're not jealous and you don't envy them, then you know it's love. You want to see each other thrive. And I really think that's the end goal. Not that other people love us this way, that other people meet us with kindness and patience and love, but it's also that I love that way. Like, I love with patience and with kindness and genuine. And I know this love is out there, and I know it will find me with the right timing. And this will also happen to you. If you see everybody around you getting married, or they're finding their life partner and they're so happy and they're finding love, don't envy those people. Don't be jealous. Rather just say, God is in the neighborhood. So I think this episode is just about sharing awareness of what emotional dependency can look like and what you can do to get out of this pattern. And it takes a lot of bravery and courage. Of course, you can also get closure without talking to them, but I've seen it with me, and I've seen it with a lot of friends of mine, that this does not work. Because when you try to get closure on your own, your brain will always be like, but what if they really like me? And what if? And you're just killing the what if by asking them. So if you feel seen by this episode, feel hugged. If you want to talk to someone, feel free to message me on my Instagram at growingwithsas. And I'm supporting you the best I can. Maybe you can share your story. And I wish you a wonderful rest of the week. Feel hugged, feel loved, and may love find you this week. That would be exciting.